like 2 hours north from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to make my guitar sound like Eddie Van Halen or George Lynch or, you know, all these other guitar players, Randy Rhoads. And so I practiced, like, you know, left and right. I practiced like every day. I was in my room just doing that thing, and suddenly I made my guitar sound like theirs, and I was like, wow, I can, you know, I wasn't as good as them, but I was like, I was getting close. You know, I met the guys in Korn when we were like teenagers, and we got in these little cheesy bands. We all ended up in LA, and we formed Korn. We wrote songs, and we just started playing Hollywood, you know, doing the whole thing. And next thing you know, we had labels and a manager like shopping us. We got a deal, recorded an album, and there we were off to our
You got big
dream.
quick.
Yeah.
You got big quick.
Yeah.
Yes, you're a rock star. You made it at that moment.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it happens like that.
Yeah.
You know, rock stars. It's
No, but we use
the
that
Hollywood
term
life.
generically, like, oh, he was a rock star, but he literally was a rock star.
Yes.
No, it took a while to become a rock star, but
Yeah, like 8 months, 8 hard months, I know.
No, seriously. How long? When you guys started, how
He's
long
right.
did it take until the big, like you said, that moment when it happened?
Okay, it started getting pretty crazy like 8 months into it, you're right. Like, I didn't have the money like a rock star until like 3 or 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a gold record, but like, you know, we were making...
Okay,
you
but
know,
the reason I know your story is because it went south dramatically. And you tell us about that. I mean,
I had this girl like before Korn, you know, that we were together, and somehow we made it through the craziness, and I married her in 1998, about 3 years into my career, and you know, we had a baby. Her name's Janaea, and so I tried. It was like this life of like wanting to be a rock star and party and do the whole music thing, but then I wanted to come home and have a wife and a kid and everything. So you get that big, you know, and you have like all the drug dealers in every town want to come to the show and like sell you their stuff, and all the girls want to come hang backstage. And the biggest drama thing happened in my life where she had like a bunch of skinheads move into my house when I was on tour with Metallica, and like these guys were like full on like gang member.
in any marriage, that's a deal breaker.
It is.
If I go home
It
from
really
this
is.
trip and there are skinheads in my apartment, it's
It hit-
amazing.
like everything hit bottom. I was like, you know what? Okay, I was talking. I even talked to someone about like, you know, killing them or hurting these guys, because I was like, these guys can't come in my house, be with my wife. One of them was sleeping around with my wife. Who knows what was going on there? And my baby was there, so I was like, kill, get these guys out, whatever. So what happened was I got a friend to go there. Luckily, those guys weren't there. I had a break in the tour. I went and grabbed my daughter. I became a single dad right then. I cleaned up, and I got clean for like 4 months. I was eating vegetables, and like my body's like, what's this? It's all this goodness. And I'm like working out. And then 9/11 happened, and I got all stressed out with that. You know, World War III, everyone's talking about. So I started drinking again. I fell down the path, dark into speed after that. I became like the worst person ever. I was like, I would be cooking my daughter breakfast, like high on speed. Like, but some of me was like, just, you know what? I hope I go to sleep tonight and just don't wake up, because I'm a rich rock star and I have everything. The outside world says I have everything, but you know, inside I'm dead. By that time I had moved back to Bakersfield, where we all grew up, and my parents were helping me with my daughter. I met some Christians. They invited me to church. I was like, who cares? You know, I'll try it. If these Christians are too weird or whatever, I'll go to a doctor. And
Well, it's kind of amazing that you were willing to go to church. I mean, you know, a lot of
Exactly.
people would just be...
Even run away from that thought of going to a
Yeah.
church, especially from the world that you were coming from.
well, this guy that took me to church also built like monster trucks and stuff, and he was like the coolest guy. So I was like, dude, I want to hang out with this guy. So like, God will use anything, right? I get there, and the pastor starts saying, Jesus is real. He'll come into your life if you invite him in, and all the negative stuff can't stay. And I was like, I was listening to him, and I was like, I'm going to try this. I went home with my drugs, and I just poured my heart out to God. I said, God, these drugs are going to kill me and leave my daughter without a dad. Please, if you're real, come into my life. Give me a new life. And with a long story short, I just had an encounter with God's love within the next few weeks, and man, I felt like Jesus came in and put his arms around me. I didn't see anything, but it was just like, it was a life-changing event. And I felt like I was at home for the first time.
Did you have that moment that you knew I can no longer be in Korn? or was it easy for you to make that decision?
It wasn't like I can't be in corn. It was like of God saying, Jesus saying, follow me out of this situation. Be a dad to your daughter, and let's go do something different with your life. And I'm like, I'm in. 2007, I started speaking churches all over.
Okay.
And then I started my solo music stuff, started touring with that. And so, yeah, I've just been doing all this stuff for all these years. And then all of a sudden, I ended up at a corn concert with my daughter. I ended up, like, reconciling with them, and I played one song with them, and everybody was in tears.